Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video today, this is actually a video that I did months ago. We're talking probably, I don't know, October, November last year. So we're talking probably 8, maybe even 9 months ago. And this was one of the problems where I'll record videos and then I'll not do anything else for a while, and I just totally forget that I've done these previous videos. So I apologise that I've never got around to editing this together and uploading it. So this is a video about when I was actually doing the repair jobs on the Vauxhall Cavalier wiring loom. Anybody who is familiar with the channel knows that I've got a 1977 Vauxhall Cavalier, and it's got a late spec Calibra 2 litre 16 valve red top in it. And this is where I was trying to do the repairs on the wiring loom. I have already uploaded a video which comes after this one, which was me finishing the repairs on the wiring loom. And if you've already seen that one, this is kind of a prequel to that. So I'm just doing this as an intro so that you know what's happening. So this is an old video from several months ago, but I thought you might want to see it because it shows how I went about fixing the loom. So let's get into it, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Good morning guys and gals, welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode I'm going to be trying to do the wiring loom repairs on my Mark 1 Cavalier. For anybody who's new to the channel, I've got a Mark 1 Cavalier 1977 on an S registration plate as it is in the UK, and it's got a red top C20XE out of a later Calibra, one of the last of the 16 valve red top engines, with the distributor pack rather than a normal distributor. And again, for anybody who's new, if you go back through the channel, have a look at my previous videos, you'll see that I did have some problems with getting it running. The problem was down to the fuel tank. I fitted a proper fuel injection designed fuel tank that's got an inbuilt swirl pot, and I got it running absolutely fantastic. It was driving brilliantly, and I went to work in it a couple of days in a row, and I was absolutely loving the way that it was driving. Unfortunately, it then started misfiring again, and it started really spluttering and, like me, coughing and spluttering, and it was just not running right. It then got to the point where it was just proper and it just wasn't running right at all. And it's now at the stage where it won't start. It won't even start, never mind run right. So in the previous video, I removed all the engine loom from the car, and I found loads of cables where the wires go into plugs, where the wires have been bent and they've split. And basically the plastic shrouds have split. You know, years and years of being on an engine, getting hot, going through hot cycles, cold cycles, the plastic deteriorates and it splits. And people have said to me, why don't I get a replacement loom? The problem is this is already a replacement loom. It had been replaced by somebody else previously, one of the previous owners, to try and get it running right. And the replacement loom is shot, you know, it's just got splits all over the place. So rather than getting another one, which could end up being just as bad, I'm just repairing the one that's already on the car. Well, it's not on the car, it's off the car, currently in my living room. So on this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about doing the repairs. I did show in a previous video all the little bits that I'd found. And in this video, I'm going to crack on and I'm going to get it repaired. And then hopefully, come the next video, I'm going to have it all repaired, get it on the car and try for a startup and see if by fixing the loom, I've fixed the problem and the car runs right. If it still doesn't run right, then at least I know that the loom's okay and I can then concentrate on other things to get it sorted. But hopefully, fixing the loom will sort all the issues with the running. So we shall see. All right then guys, let's get into it. Right then guys, so here we are again in my living room. Not many people's living rooms double up as a workshop, but as you can see, mine does. Now this is normally where my diorama would be set. You know, if you've been watching the other videos of me doing my Jaggery type diorama, which is currently just sat down there on the floor, this is where I normally do it. So today I'll put a big sheet of double thickness cardboard down just to rest on, so I'm not knackering up my coffee table. And I've got my tools together. So I've just got some old wire snippers, and they are very old. Wire strippers, just like cheap basic ones, they'll do the job. some soldering wire. I have got some more, that's just the bit I've got to use first. Cigarette lighter, and then a couple of little thin screwdrivers. And then I'm going to give these a try. I've never used these before. These are the heat shrink wraps. So what I'm going to do with each cable, this is the one I'm going to do first, is I'm going to use the little teeny tiny screwdrivers inside the end of the plug to try and pop out the original connector that's inside. I've done this before in the past, by the way, and it has worked, so I can't see any reason why it won't work. So yeah, little teeny tiny screwdriver into that slot, pop out the original connector, and I'm going to do one at a time so that I don't get them mixed up. Yeah, probably doing them in order, like 1, 2 and 3. This is the plug that went to the distributor pack, the electronic distributor pack, and as you can see, all 3 have gone through and snapped, and I think they possibly were even rubbing against each other, quite possibly. I mean, look at the state of that one. And this is the typical kind of problem I've got with this loom. I've then got down here a box absolutely full of old cables. It has actually got old air horn there as well, some old speaker grills and all sorts of stuff, but a massive pile of wiring, all different colours, and it's all spare wiring that I removed from cars over the years. We look at the state of the box, that gives you an idea how old the box of wires is. But yeah, I've got, I mean, this is a prime example. I've got this nice bit of brown wire, so I'm not going to worry about the fact that that's got brown with a red stripe. I'm just going to replace it with a section of brown. The other one there that's brown with a black stripe, again, I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to use a section of the brown. It don't matter as long as it goes to the correct location. And then the black, I'll use a bit of black. I mean, what I could do is the brown with the red stripe is I could use a red heat shrink. I don't know, does it really make any difference? But the heat shrink, that's what I've got the cigarette lighter for. So yeah, so the heat shrink, I've never used these before, so we'll see how good they are or not. I've always just used electrical tape in the past, but I'm actually going to try proper heat shrink. We'll see how good they are. These were really cheap. They were only about £3 something off eBay, including postage, and there's loads of different sizes, so we'll see how I get on with them, see if they're any good. I've then got various other plugs, which again I've showed you in previous video. There's that one, which is probably one of the worst ones. I think they've definitely been shorting out against each other. I think they've worn through and they've rubbed against each other because they look like they've even burnt. That's the one that goes to the airflow meter or MAF, whatever it is. And there's that one as well. There's a thinner, smaller wire there. You can see that's snapped. The green and brown. So it might only need that one cable repairing, and that one definitely needs all 4 cables repairing, I think. Although that little thin one at the end, I think that's actually all right. Actually, that little thin one, it might be just them 3 there that need doing. We shall see. There's another plug I've already checked, which was actually okay. So I'm just not going to bother doing anything with it because it's okay. And then I'll just go around all the rest of this mass. There's also the big cable, this big long one, which is the one that goes through to the lambda sensor on the exhaust, which I showed you in a previous video, where the outer casing had been rubbing on the exhaust, and it's obviously melted on the exhaust. And I think that this might actually be the #1 cause of the running issues, because obviously it needs the lambda sensor to make the engine run right, and if the cables running to and from the lambda sensor are not working, it's not exactly going to help the engine running right, is it? So yeah, so I've got my work cut out, so I'm going to crack on, and I'll come back to you once I've done a bit. So we'll see you again shortly. Right then guys, so I've got the first one out of the plug. So this is basically what it comes out like. Don't know if I can get the camera to focus very well, but so it has like a little pin at the top and at the bottom, but I've found that if you can just do the bottom one, that's enough to get it out. And I've actually given up on the idea of using the little screwdriver, and I found instead using the smallest you can get Allen key instead works a lot better. The problem was the little screwdriver, because of the angle of the blade, you have to get it in at a funny kind of angle to get it to work right, whereas the Allen key, you can push it in and just push it up slightly, and it gives you more leverage on the little pins to be able to then just pop them out. So this is the first cable. So that's how long the cable was, and that's where I've just snipped it. But these are the ones that I'm extending. So I'm making them, what, about 2.5 inches longer, because these are the ones where I showed you on the engine bay. They were twisted really sharp into the distributor pack, and that's the reason, you know, they've been under a lot of force for many years, twisted and bent, and that's the main reason why they've snapped as bad as they have. Because this is the plug, and the plug was kind of like bent at like 180 degrees almost, and so the cables have been under a lot of force. So when I'm coming to repair these, I'm extending it, making it longer, so it's got a bigger loop to be able to bend, and hopefully that'll make him a bit more future proof. So I'm just going to solder this first connection. I've got a heat shrink thing ready to put on, and then what I'll do at this end is I've just folded back the little flaps. I'm going to try and then solder in the end of the other cable into this, and then tighten up, squish back the little tabs, and hopefully that will work. I have done this before in the past, by the way, and it has worked in the past when I've done it. So right, I'll see you again shortly. Okay guys, so we have wire number 1 repaired and extended. So the heat shrink wrap worked really well, so I've soldered the wire inside there, put the heat shrink over it, melted it with the cigarette lighter, and then at this end soldered on the wire, and then I just need to put it back in the plug, and then do the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Yeah, you get the idea. It's going to take a while to do, but hopefully it'll be worth it and the car will run right. So I'll see you again in a bit when I've got a few more done, and see how I progress. See you soon. Alright then guys, so this first plug, I've done 2 of the wires. I've extended them both by about 2.5 inches. And then I've got this third one. Just wanted to show you the joint. Don't know if it'll focus very well, but there you go. It's nice and strong, and then I'll do the sheath over the top. And then at this end, the clamp over the actual plastic to hold the plastic, and then I'll solder that to that as well, like I've done on the other 2. And then that'll be plug number 1 done of however many I need to do. I've got at least probably 3 plugs I need to repair like this. And then there's the cable that actually runs to the lambda sensor to do as well. But that, I'm just going to replace the whole length of wire. And I'll probably put some kind of plug on the end. It's going to be interesting underneath the car, because I'm going to have to do some kind of plug on that underneath the car. So we'll have to see what I can do with that. So anyway, I'm going to carry on. Right guys, so I'm just going round the wiring and just having a look at some of the shoddiness. And this is a prime example of some of the shoddiness on this wiring. I mean, look at this earth where somebody has just clamped on this earth. And look at the state of that, if I can get it to focus. Look at the state of that. That is just terrible. This was wrapped in black electrical tape. And I thought, look at the state of that. It's all bent, it's all twisted, it's all in a right state. And look at the state of that. That's like one of the main earths for the wiring loom. And you think, how on earth did this car run in the first place? So you can see the kind of repairs I'm having to do. At least I've done this plug now. I've done all 3 on this. I've extended all the wires. So at least now this will be able to twist round onto the disc pack without it being under as much force as it was, because as I say, I've extended each wire by that length, you know, 2.5, nearly 3 inches longer. So that should make that a lot more reliable. I've checked this plug and that one's absolutely fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. Them couple of earths are ones that I did, admittedly. They weren't the best quality soldering because I was doing them outside and it were cold and it were taking forever for the solder to melt. There's that plug that still needs doing. A couple of little small wires. In fact, I don't even know where the other one's right inside the cover there. Yeah, that's the one that, so that's probably, yeah. Might not be the next one I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do the big one, this big one. Is it this big one? Don't know. I'll decide which one I'm going to do next. So I'll see you again shortly. Hi guys, right, you join me back and I'm on to the next plug, and this is the big main one, which as you can see I've got one of the wires out, which is here, and look at the state of that. This is the one that goes to the airflow meter or MAF, whatever it is. I must find out whether it is just an airflow meter or whether it is a MAF. I'm not entirely sure which it is. I keep probably saying completely the wrong thing. Now, the one thing is with this one, this is the type of plug where it has actually got two little holes at the top of each. So in order to get the plug out, this one, to get this out, you kind of need to have two little prongs to be able to get it out. So what I've done is I've got my little Allen key that I used before, and then I've got this other one which is from another set of Allen keys, but it is a little bit bigger, and I've had to actually get a little bit creative, and I've had to file both of them into like a small square to get rid of them actually being Allen key shaped, so that I could then put one in the slot at the top, one in the slot at the bottom, and then that enables this to pop out. So it's a little bit of a faff, a little bit of a pain. You probably can get the proper tool for doing this. I'm sure you probably can, but I haven't got the proper tool, so I'm just having to improvise. I've got my little metal file there, which I've been using to narrow them down, and I've got the first cable out. So this is the first one, which I'm obviously going to repair. It has gone dark now as well. Oh, ignore my towels and stuff and crap everywhere. It has gone dark now. I've just had some food, had a little bit of a break, and now I'm carrying on. So this one's got these weird kind of like waterproof bungs in the end of each wire, which I'd not really noticed, but yeah, it's got like these waterproof bungs. So obviously I've got to allow for that when doing the repair on the wire. I've also got rid of the outer sheathing, because this did have some outer sheathing which looks like this, which was all very, very brittle, very, very hard, very crispy. So I've just cut that off completely to expose the wires. I will then obviously have to wrap the wires afterwards to protect them and keep them all wrapped together. So that's one thing I'll have to do afterwards. But yeah, I'm going to crack on and continue with rewiring this plug. I do think this is one of the main plugs that was causing the biggest problems, because as you can see, there is two wires right next to each other. This wire does look like it might have been in contact with one or both of them wires at some point and has kind of sparked out, and that's probably one of the reasons why it wasn't running right. So we shall see, we shall see. I might do all this and engine still runs like crap, because it might be something fuel pressure related or something, but at least if the loom's sorted, then at least I know that bit's done. So I'm going to carry on. Right, so I've got one of these ones fixed now then. So done the repair there, done the shrink wrap, went for green this time because why not? It don't really matter what colour you use. And then this end is done with the new bit soldered on and the waterproof bung. So I'll get it put back in the plug, wherever the plug's gone, there. And then on with the next one. Now, out of these four wires, the end one of the four is actually okay. So it's basically 3 out of the 4 wires which are split, and the other one is actually okay. So I'm going to crack on and get them ones done now. So there you go, guys. That's as far as I got with that particular video. As you can see, it cut short. I didn't record any more of repairing of the loom. I just went ahead and did the rest of the repairs without recording it. Although I don't think that's true. I think I did actually record more videos, but it was on my old phone, and my old phone died. And a lot of the videos that I'd done were actually on the internal memory of the phone. I use iPhones. It was my old iPhone 6S, and a lot of the videos that I'd done had not actually uploaded and backed themselves up to iCloud, because my iCloud storage was full. So yeah, I think the videos are still on the internal memory on my old phone, but I can't get my old phone working because the screen's knackered, and I'm not going to go and buy a new screen just to get them old videos back. So there you go. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you've seen the video after this one, you'll know how I did manage to complete the loom. I have also had the car running since as well, so the car is now running. It was only firing on 2 cylinders. We managed to get one of the other cylinders working. There was actually a sticky fuel injector. Cylinder number 1 is still not firing properly. For some reason, cylinder number 1 is still not running right. It might be that injector is sticking as well, but it has also started getting noisy from the top end of the engine, like a valve lifter or a follower or something is making a lot of noise, and it's very, very clattery at cylinder number 1. So I am going to do another compression test to make sure there's nothing wrong with cylinder number 1, because, as I say, for some reason cylinder number 1's still not firing right. So the engine is running better now, but it's still only running properly on 3 out of the 4 cylinders. But the repairs to the wiring loom that you've seen in this video have made a huge difference to the way the car is running. So it was definitely worth me doing the repairs to the loom. So with that said, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please do stick around for more videos. I am trying to remember to actually edit and put the videos together after I've done them, so that you're not having to wait around for months and months and months for another video. So thanks a lot for watching. Please do like, browse, subscribe. It costs you nothing. Just click that button and subscribe. And thanks a lot for your support, and I'll see you next time. Laters.